The oldest US military hospital, Walter Reed. Here come many of the victims of the Iraq War, injured but also traumatized. Dr. Michael Roy hopes he'll be able to help them with a surprising method. He uses virtual reality, based on a video game. Because the army won't allow us to film real patients, this soldier demonstrates the device. Goggles, headsets, even an odor machine. She is suddenly driving a Humvee in Iraq. For anybody who didn't experience the war, this is merely a video game. But for a traumatized veteran, virtual Iraq opens the mental barrier, which is essential. The most efficient therapies have the patient telling their therapist in great detail their experiences.
So we often find people who weren't able to really describe in much detail what their traumatic experience was, suddenly saying, gee, you know, this really makes me think of, you know, when I saw my buddy get shot, you know, I had forgotten about this. You know, we get that sort of reaction quite frequently.
More than 1/3 of Iraq's veterans have post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, but most of them don't receive any treatment or don't respond to the ones they get. Because it uses new technology and a video game, virtual Iraq is more accepted than traditional therapies. Results are often impressive.
We've seen a lot of them doing things they weren't really able to do before. Going to the movies, going out to dinner, going to athletic events with large crowds.
But virtual reality is not only for veterans, it was actually born far from the battlefield. Dr. DeFede, a psychiatrist in New York, was one of the first to use it for PTSD right after 9/11. She remembers being stunned by the reaction of the first patient she experimented with.
Really, the minute she put the head-mounted display on, in which she could see the virtual simulation of Lower Manhattan, she was able to really engage. And I was impressed, because remember, back then for me it was an experiment. I didn't know that this would be successful.
It's that success with 9/11 survivors that psychiatrists are trying to emulate on a larger scale with Iraq veterans.